I've been very clear about this. First of all, I approach this from a first and foremost from a federal perspective, representing my constituents as a member of Congress. And I have had concerns about this from the start that still have not been satisfactorily addressed. From a federal perspective, Medicaid is going bankrupt, and we're just expanding it, whether it's in the form of a private option or traditional Medicaid in another state. And there is no dedicated funding stream. There is no dedicated funding stream. This is just, it is lumped in with the rest of Medicaid. And I will tell you, the argument that if we don't take the money, someone else will spend it, that's not true. That is not true. This is not money that goes to another state if we don't take it. This is money that will not be spent by the federal government. So that's number one. What is the funding stream? It would be irresponsible of me as a member of Congress to say, and particularly as a member of Ways and Means, to say, I don't care how you pay for it. And I have not heard a satisfactory answer to that, number one. Number two, Medicaid, traditional Medicaid, is a critical program for a lot of people, and it is going bankrupt. And this does not fix it. In fact, in Medicaid programs across the country, whether they're expanded or not, are not seeing the kind of reform I think they deserve. Now, in Arkansas, there have been some changes to traditional Medicaid, to the payment system, but the type of changes that will save Medicaid have to be comprehensive and bold. That's number two. And I even said the other day, if the private option is going to save money, why didn't we push Sebelius to let us turn the traditional Medicaid program into the private option first to see if it actually is going to do what it says? And I said to somebody the other day, when they told me, well, it's innovation, there is some innovation in it. There's no doubt. Some of the ideas are ideas that some Republicans have advocated for, but here's what I said is the issue. You got that innovation only through expanding what the president wanted. If you went to the president and said, we'll expand any program you want if you just let us do some innovating, I guarantee you get a lot of expansions of a lot of programs. Mm-hmm. And again, that goes back to the funding stream. And then thirdly, I want to know, and I've not heard a satisfactory answer, and maybe it was announced today, I don't know. But I want our leaders to be frank with the people of Arkansas about what's going to happen when the federal money ends. Some people will say raise taxes. I disagree with that. Some people will say the savings will pay for it. That government says that a lot, and it has a tendency not to materialize based on what I've seen in my life. Some people will say, well, if we don't get the money, it'll just end. I think we've seen with what just went on in the State House, it's not many people are going to consider that an option. Because a lot of people are counting, a lot of the hospitals, and I totally understand, they're constituents of mine, a lot of them are counting on this to make up for cuts that came from Obamacare. And what I told some hospital folks the other day is, the problem here is you're not going to get more money this way, most likely, because Congress will end up, after I'm gone, I'm sure, they'll end up cutting Medicare again to pay for the Medicaid. They're going to cut reimbursements elsewhere, most likely. I'm not saying that that's going to happen now, but the circumstances are such that it would not surprise me if they rob Peter to pay Paul. Because we are talking about a limited pool of funds, and at the end of the day, 2 plus 2 is 4. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 0 is 4. It's still going to equal 4. And unless there are some major changes I don't know about. So I just want to hear the answer. And I have said, I want to emphasize this, because a lot of those folks on both sides of this issue are my friends. I mean, dear friends that I talk with a lot. Michael Lamro, for example. He's for the private option. He's a good friend of mine. and I talk to him a lot. But I will tell you that I've been very open to listening to any facts that people think I may be missing. I am always happy to sit down. I called Speaker Carter the other day. I called Senator Lamoureux, and I called Brian King, who's against it, and many others I've talked with. And I said, look, I am always open to hear new facts. I just have these concerns. I think they're responsible, reasonable concerns. And I just want to hear a satisfactory answer. And I just haven't heard that yet in a way that from a federal perspective, and even with the third thing I mentioned from a state perspective, that I can, where I can support it. I just can't. I haven't heard it yet. So I've been very clear about that. So I want people, particularly legislators, to know that I am open to hearing what they believe are the facts, because they've been living this and they've been working on it. It's not been a federal issue for me in the Congress. But I've got some serious concerns, and I still have those. So I like to call that a thoughtful no. Okay.